is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, and you're listening to the Carlos Whittaker Podcast. Hey friends, I'm Carlos Whittaker, and this is my podcast. Today I'm going to process. Is it okay if we process together? I like processing on my podcast because it's not Instagram. And so I can't read all the comments of people that hate me processing. You have the choice whether or not you want to continue to listen to me process or just stop the podcast. But this is why I love having this long form, this place where I can just talk for a while, because I'm going to talk about something today that I don't necessarily know where I'm going to land. How's that? I have an opinion, but a lot of times as I process opinions, I'm going to fade this music out here. As I process opinions like this, I find myself in places at the end that I wasn't at the beginning. And that's okay. I think that's called being human. Everybody thinks they're right. Everybody thinks that they're right about everything. Nobody can say, I don't know anymore. And I think I know something that I'm feeling, but I may feel it differently at the end, blah, blah, blah. I mean, who you guys don't care about my thought process. Let me tell you what I want to talk about. I think we've lost the plot. I think we've lost the plot. Now, I'm not saying that, again, I need to preface this with, I am the first one to say I lose the plot all the time. So this is, and I think that's kind of how I work, right? Like I tell you when I lose the plot. I'm authentic when I lose the plot. And so I share how I lost the plot and maybe how I found the plot again in various spaces in life. So this is not pot calling kettle black. Can I say that? Is that racist? It's one of those phrases that I'm like, now I just said that, I'm like, oh, wait a second. I've said things before that I'm like, oh, I can't say that. I think I can say that. I mean, I am black, so maybe I'm the kettle. I think we've lost the plot. So I'm scrolling through social media the last few weeks, and I found some absurdity. I feel like Christian Instagram, okay, evangelical Instagram, which I'm like, whatever. It kind of makes me a little, but I'm a Christian and I'm on Instagram, so I know my feed's going to feed me things. But I'm scrolling through social media, and everywhere people are arguing about Taylor Swift. Everywhere people are arguing about Taylor Swift. Should you listen to Taylor Swift music? Everyone's arguing about Halloween. Is it demonic? Should Christians support Taylor's music? Should they support her tour? Should Christians dress up as Halloweens? And I think my internal reaction to all of that is I'm literally thinking, how did this become the battle? Like, when did we trade the Great Commission for the great comment section? Because that's honestly what it feels like. It's like, oh, I can get a lot of comments by talking about this, so I'm going to talk about this, and then boom, look at my comments blow up, and then the algorithm, and I mean, apparently it's the devil's plan to get you to wear a Spider-Man costume on October 31st. And what I want to let you know from my gut is that this isn't about Taylor or Halloween. I think it's about how we have become addicted to outrage and allergic to empathy. Literally, we have become addicted to outrage and allergic to empathy. And so much performative outrage is being shown online, and so much actual gospel, little gospel, I think, is being lived out in real life. Because, and again, I'm talking about myself, especially when I was in the most unhealthy seasons of my life. Bro, I was really good at performing. But I think that performed outrage may just end up being like a new religion. Because there's so much more conversation being based in the evangelical Christian community around outrage as opposed to around the gospel. outrage gives us the illusion of righteousness, okay? It's applause-based morality. I mean, Christian influencers, like discernment accounts, there are discernment accounts. They literally thrive on fear. And fear feeds the algorithm. You guys, this isn't new. This isn't new news, okay? But honestly, I just don't know if it's about holiness anymore. I think it's about engagement. I know for me, for the longest time, I lived in this. And I'm old enough. Look, I'm getting more and more white hairs that have creeped up from the bottom of my chin to my mustache now. When a man's mustache starts turning white, you know that he is past midlife. Okay? But we've literally turned outrage into a spiritual gift. And I'm like, ew, stop it. Even people that I followed for a long time, that I'm like, wow, like they were really good at like giving me like actual practical ways to live out the gospel and to be a follower of Jesus truly every day in my life by seeing other people. And as opposed to like whatever it's turned into now. Speaking to just pop culture on a daily basis in general, like gatekeeping purity instead of like gardening for the souls of people. Gatekeeping doesn't take work. Gatekeeping doesn't take work. I need to say that again. But gardening takes work. I watch my wife garden our gigantic garden, which keeps growing and growing every the beginning of the summer in spring. She's out there this spring. In March, I was helping her build garden beds, completely bare, and I'm watching all the work it takes for her to garden. And I feel like, gosh, like isn't that what we're supposed to be doing to people that are far from whatever it is that we believe? And if we want to even just show them, not convince them or change them, but just show them what we believe, I think gatekeeping isn't the way. That cart has left, guys. If you're trying to, I'm not even going to go there. That's another podcast. I think that we're gatekeepers and we're not gardening anymore. There are videos that are going to get 37 likes, and there's videos that are going to get 1 million views. And right now, rage is the thing. Rage about pop culture is the thing that is getting the most clicks. I look at Jesus again. This is coming from a worldview of faith that I have. But I look at Jesus and I just don't think that he was wasting his time breaking down the secular culture of the day because he was so busy just breaking bread with people that didn't look like him, think like him, or believe like him. When I started trying to figure out how to make money online selling things, I literally had to be a professional web coder. Is that even a thing? I don't know, but I didn't know how to do it. Guess what? Guess who came in to help me? Shopify. Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the United States of America. That's right. And you can get started with your own design studio, just like I did, with hundreds of ready-to-use templates, which is what I use, that Shopify helps you build. They help you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. Literally, if you go to instafamilia.com, you see my brand and Shopify did it. You can also get Shopify to be your e-commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping and processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell, listen, you are ready for Shopify. So listen, turn your big business idea into cash with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Carlos. Go to shopify.com/Carlos. Shopify.com/Carlos. I need to let everybody know that this isn't just a them thing. I'm not sitting here just pointing fingers. Okay. If you feel triggered or offended, I'll point it back at myself. This is a me thing. This is a you thing. We've all scrolled by somebody else's pain because we're so busy defending our tribe. I know. I believe in a lot of very important stuff. And I will defend it. But when my point becomes gatekeeping and defending my cause, gatekeeping and defending my beliefs from the ills and evils of people that don't believe like me, I am going to defend. No. That is a internal focused view of the world. And we're supposed to be externally focused. We're supposed to go out into all the nations. Go out. Go to them. Go to them that don't believe like you. And if you go to them like don't believe like you with the megaphone, you're going to be ignored. No, go to them, love them, serve them, be with them. I just think that we're forgetting the real mission. We got Dove Award arguments going online, and then the Dove Award argument, and then we got people kind of being funny, and then people being offended at people being funny, and then that offense turns into a song, and then we're arguing about should Christian worship leaders get paid? But this one's selling a $4,000 hoodie, and it's just rage. So, what can we do with performative purity? What can we do to get rid of it? Okay. How do we contrast performative purity to neglected presence? Because that's what we're neglecting, right? While we debate Halloween, our neighbor is suicidal. But man, I'm going to make sure that none of my followers dress up for Halloween. Oh, but have you checked on your friend that is struggling? No, because it's a lot easier to pick up your phone and talk to your phone. While we post about modesty, a friend's parents are suffering with dementia. While we're boycotting the next thing, Target or Starbucks, you got a teenager in your youth group who's cutting herself. I'm trying to compare and contrast, and I want it to be oh, okay, Carla. I want people to be. I want you to hear these things and be come on, man. But yes, come on, man. What are we doing? The devil doesn't care if you're avoiding Harry Potter as long as you continue to avoid people that are hurting. He doesn't care. Avoid Harry Potter all you want and talk about Harry Potter all you want. Talk about Halloween all you want. Make sure that that's the thing. Because while you're doing that and while you're just preaching to the choir and getting a bunch of clicks and a bunch of comments, there are hurting people all around you that are desperate for somebody to just see them and sit with them and be with them. Oof. What are we doing? We've lost the plot. I think at the core, we think and we feel like we're defending the gospel. I think we do. But actually, we're just defending our comfort zone. Our comfort zones are the things that the second you become uncomfortable, I believe is the second that you're most powerful. I know that I have found power in my discomfort. But the more I just want to keep things comfortable around me, I think I lose a lot of power. So I have an idea. Okay. I'll bring in my logic that I've talked about. I've never written a book on this, but this is my logic again. Curiosity leads to empathy. Empathy leads to trust. Trust leads to a relationship. A relationship leads to change. So if you think about curiosity, empathy, trust, relationship, and change, those 5 things, outrage literally skips every single one of those steps. It's curiosity in reverse. Right? So instead of warning about culture, I ask that because I want to a lot, right? But I ask, what Jesus would be warning me about, okay? I think he would be warning us about like apathy of heart, hardness, pride. I don't know. I told you that I'm going to just ramble, and I actually think I'm convincing myself that I'm right. Not necessarily right about, because this isn't even right about whether or not Halloween is bad. I'm not even talking about that. Whether or not you should listen to Taylor Swift. Honestly, those are such small things. One day in your life, I don't think if your kids go trick-or-treating, I'll tell you this. I don't think if your kids go trick-or-treating on October 31st that you're bringing the devil into your home. You may be bringing the devil as a form of like too many Reese's Pieces, but I don't think you're bringing it into your home. No. My home is as a follower of Jesus, I believe, this is going to get really Christian for a second, sorry guys, is covered by the blood of the cross and the power of the resurrection. And so ain't nothing going to be following the candy into my house. Okay? So let me remind you what Jesus modeled. He modeled loving God and loving people. He didn't model defending God and arguing with people. He literally modeled loving God and loving people. That's the whole thing. So let's contrast our complexity with that clarity. How freaking complicated, as I scroll my feed, have we made it? It's not that complicated. Listen, I made it complicated for a long time in my life. This year, I've done more work. I've been in more therapist office. I've done more healing. I've done more taking power back of my life because I was the victim for so long, and now I'm powerful. And because I'm powerful, I've made a decision in my faith to make it less complex, to make it more Jesus. Jesus touched the lepers, the untouchable, right? Like literally. Jesus talked to the Samaritan woman. Again, theologically the wrong tribe, okay? Jesus ate with canceled people. With sinners, okay? Jesus didn't call out darkness from a distance. He entered it with light. So are you just calling out darkness from a distance? Are you freaking grabbing a light and entering it in, or entering into it? Are you going in with the light, or are you calling out darkness from a distance? Hello? Jesus didn't he rebuked people for sure. But the stories that I see, he didn't spend most of his time rebuking. He told stories that healed people. Did you know 3 out of 4 U.S. homes have toxic chemicals in their tap water? I bet you didn't, but now you do. Even though contaminated water looks clear, it could put you at risk for devastating health concerns. Literally fatigue, hormone disruption, cognitive decline, even cancer. Surprisingly, standard fridge and pitcher filters do little to remove most contaminants, and bottled water contains microplastics if you're drinking out of that bottle. So listen, you need to pick up AquaTrue, which is what my family has. We have the countertop water purifier that is tested and certified to remove 84 contaminants, including chlorine, lead, forever chemicals, and microplastics. AquaTrue has been featured in Business Insider, Popular Science, and named Best Countertop Water Filter by Good Housekeeping. So listen, join over 98% of customers who say their drinking water is cleaner, safer, and healthier. How do you do that? You head to aquatrue.com now for 20% off whatever purifier you want using promo code HUMANHOPE. AquaTrue even comes with a 30-day best tasting water guarantee. That's aquatrue.com, AQUATRU.com, promo code HUMANHOPE. I think that holiness isn't hiding from culture. I don't think it is. I think that it's literally showing compassion within it. I was in Pittsburgh 2 days ago and got paired up, or sitting, well, not paired up, but I went to a driving range and there was a gentleman that came and got like literally chose the stall. I'm a new golfer, so I don't know what the right word is, but right next to me. Now, I was a little annoyed at the beginning because there was like 40 stalls and I was the only one there. And then he chose the one right next to me. So I was like, this is weird, but whatever. And so this man starts talking to me and immediately I can just tell like this guy doesn't hold the same political viewpoints that I do. And he starts talking to me just about like immigration and the problems with illegals and all sorts of things. And I'm like, wow, this is very, now I was nice to him. So I think he thought, oh, I can talk to this guy. But like, I'm like, this guy just choosing, he's just choosing violence with his words. But instead of arguing with him, I decided to do something. I said, man, this is the question I asked him. Where did this passion come from? Oh. And suddenly the conversation went away from culture and everything he thought was wrong with it to something that happened to him when he was 12 years old. Boom. You can transition it. You can make the decision to not engage. So I think of Jesus's examples and I think, what does it look like for us now? Right? What does it look like for us now in our online lives, our work, our neighborhoods? I think we can do it different. Let me give you some practical, tangible actions that I think this rant can lead to a little bit of hope and practice. Okay. I would replace outrage with outreach. And I hate the word outreach because I'm a child of the 80s and that word in Christendom was like, oh God, I don't want to go to outreach night at church on Wednesday night. But how are you going to replace outrage with outreach? Every time you want to post something like, what's wrong with the world? Or this artist we need to not listen to, or we don't need to do that. Instead of that, every time you want to do that, text somebody that might be struggling. Text them. Trust me. I don't care if you've got 4.5 million followers. I don't care if you got 14.5 million followers. If you were to text somebody that is struggling and depressed and in pain, instead of posting a thought that's going to get you 40,000 likes and comments of people that are agreeing with you in your tribe, trust me, that text is going to go a lot farther. Replace warning with witness. Again, witness. Oh, child of the 80s. But show them what you're for, not just what you're against. Okay? It's so easy to talk about what we're against, but are you talking about what you're for? What you're for rarely gets you the clicks. What you're against gets you the clicks. But what can you do? Replace the warnings with your witness. Replace judgment with generosity. When you start feeling the angst to get judgy, volunteer, serve. Listen, we're heading into, at least here in my house, it's right now as I'm recording this, it's October 22nd. Thanksgiving, the fall season's coming. Soup lines. Go serve the unhoused. Conviction isn't contagious when it's condescending. Love is. So if your conviction is condescending, what are we doing? One day this week, just one. I don't want you to post a thing. I don't want you to reply in the comment section if something pisses you off, makes you mad. Sorry, there's little ears listening. I just want you to be present with somebody that needs you. Okay. So, what's actually happening? Okay. I believe that this isn't a people thing, it's a spiritual thing. Okay. A reminder that division is, I believe, the enemy's favorite tool. Now, when I say the enemy, I know there's people that are listening to this that aren't Christians. I'm simply meaning I believe that there's an enemy that's come to steal, kill, and to destroy. And I believe that the way he does that is through division. So, knowing that division is the enemy's favorite tool, just remember that if he can keep us busy fighting each other, we'll never fight for each other. Imagine for a second if the church became known again, not for what it hates, but for how it heals. I think we have to get the plot back. We have to get the plot back. We're confused. And we've confused being right with being righteous. We've confused being loud with being loving. And I've done it too. I've scrolled, I've judged, I've ignored, but I want better for me, for us, for you. So before you post, ask, does this bring light or does this bring heat? There's a difference. So many of us are trying to bring the heat. No, stop. Turn on a freaking fluorescent light in your life and quit bringing the heat all the time and just bring light. Before you critique, ask, does this help anyone heal? Does this help anyone heal? Before you warn about darkness, ask, are you bringing any light? I believe that the gospel hasn't changed. I just think that we have to live it louder than we post it. Okay, less outrage, more outreach. Sorry, I hate that word, but it's the right one. Less canceling, more connecting. Less fear, more fruit. We don't need more Christians winning arguments. We need more Christians washing feet. And I think that's how we get the plot back. So, with that, I don't know if I changed my mind at the end of my rant, but I do know that what I spoke, hopefully, Holy Spirit convicted, not me. I don't want to be the convictor. It's not my job. But I do want you to think. I do want you to think, what am I adding to noise? Or am I helping people know him? And so again, for those of you that don't share the same belief system, you're not Christian, sorry if this was a little too Christian, probably a little bit more Christianese than most of my podcast episodes. But I believe that even if your worldview is different than mine, you can get something out of this. Let's stop performing our rage and let's get the plot back, right? I think we can. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week on another episode of the Carlos Whittaker podcast.